Hey, what's up, guys? It's Felstrex. I want to talk to you today about an email that a friend of mine got from the Amazon pre-order fulfillment company. It was titled to him. Let me pull it up so I can look at it and kind of read it to you exactly. It said, "We're writing because an unexpected delay has occurred in delivering the item listed below, titled New World Deluxe Edition. Your new expected release date is Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. So, and then we apologize for any inconvenience. We'll keep your pre-order on your account and deliver title as soon as it's released. As a reminder, you can always change, cancel, or view the status of your orders in your orders." And then, I'll link this in the video so you can see a copy of it, so you know that I'm not BSing you or giving you any sort of, crap about this. It raises a couple of interesting questions, though, about the game. I played the beta for, I think I clocked almost 117 hours on Steam, is what it said when I looked last. And it definitely had some issues with it. Now, I'm going to kind of go over some of my thoughts of what some of these issues might be, some of the reasons why they might have decided to make this decision to extend by almost a month the release date. The first major thing that stands out to me as an issue in the game is the lack of mounts. When I first started playing the game, the first first day, 2 days, maybe 3 days of playing the game, the lack of mounts didn't really bother me. It was okay because I was like in one little area. I didn't have to go too far to get things. But the further I progressed into the game, the reliance on the fast travel system and the lack of ability to move through the environment at a faster speed really started to take its toll on me. I felt like I just wasn't getting places fast enough. If you dedicate a lot of time to this game, you will definitely be able to gather enough. The item that they use to do the fast traveling is called Azoth. It's also used in crafting. So I feel like the more you get into the game, the more you're going to have to kind of decide, do you want to use this for traveling or do you want to use this for crafting? And that's going to create a bit of a problem, because then you're going to have to do more grinding and more of the things that people don't necessarily like to do. However, the idea of not having mounts is, I kind of understand why, because they want you to be an active participant in their environment. They want you to enjoy running through this world that they created for you. Everything is interactable. You're harvesting boulders, you're cutting down trees, you're hemp and all of that stuff. Like, I get it. But at the same time, there's a certain point where I want to be able to just run from corrupted event to corrupted event and not harvest. And I feel like the lack of a mount really takes away from that experience. Or if I'm PvPing and I need to get back to an area or go to another area, the lack of a mount is just, I feel like it's hindering at a certain point. I don't think mounts not being in the game is going to be a huge deal. I think it's more of a convenience thing. However, the tab target versus active target, I feel like that can be one of the main things that is really going to hinder this game. And the reason I say that is one of the biggest complaints that I've heard from people, one of the biggest criticisms that they have is about healing. And I understand this completely. I've been a healer for many, many years, and recently I've switched over to a DPS role just because, I don't want the stress of dealing with people crying because they don't got enough hit points anymore. I want to be the one crying. But I can see how the active healing is very, very difficult, and it can be very, very hindering. As a DPS, the moves in the game are just swinging in an arc in front of you and you're just slamming things into the ground. So I feel like DPS isn't as affected by it, but healing, for sure, absolutely. They've already had problems with healings not kind of affecting and processing the way that they wanted it to process. So they've already had to tweak that. The beta showed them a lot of issues that they have within their system. So I definitely think that this could be one of the things they're working on if they did decide to push it back. I haven't found any information being able to confirm that there is actually a new date. This email's from Amazon. It's legit. It comes from their customer service department. I've gotten emails from this email before, but I went to try and do a like a pre-order to look it up, and the pre-order still said August 31st. When you search on the web, the pre-order says August 31st. So maybe this is a fluke. Maybe it's an anomaly. Maybe we just got lucky and got to see it early. Now, that being said, there are still some stark issues with the game. There's a definite lack of content. At a certain point, people are going to get bored of running around to corrupted zones and farming the same 2 to 3 to 4 dungeons, and the PvP system, it's fun, it's engaging, but it's kind of like, I seen an article today where someone was saying the streamers are going to this and that and that. That's not necessarily true. When you're level 50, you sign up for a war. Half the participants in the war are from the controlling group, and then half are selected from the people in the party. So that's kind of fair. You know, you can't just pick a group of people that you want it to be. The other thing in PvP is, at least the little bit of PvP that I did, melee sucks. It sucks to be melee. By the time you get to the person, you're already down half to 3/4 of your health, and they don't have to do nothing to kill you. They just keep backing up. They back up at the same speed that you move forward. So there's no way to overtake them. There's no way to get there faster. They took out the life staff's ability to move you forward like that. There's a couple of gap closers, but the cooldowns on them are really, really strong. So like I said, you use your gap closer and they just have to keep backing up. And, 7-10 seconds for the next time I want to use the gap closer, it makes it very, very difficult to get to that point where you're able to engage them in a melee system. I shouldn't have to use a staff or a bow or the ice gauntlet or the musket or whatever to be able to just throw it at them from halfway down the road. I should be able to play the game and play the classes that I want to play and engage them in the way that I want to engage them. Now, there are a lot of good things about this game. I find that the combat is really engaging. I have to pay attention to it. It's not like when you're WoW and you're just like, cast, just doing the same thing over and over again. You have to pay attention. You have to think. You have to look at what's going on around you. You have to move. You have to react. You have to dodge. There's a lot of awareness that you have to maintain while doing these things. And the content that they have is challenging. Don't get me wrong. It's not that it's easy or anything. I just think that there's not an abundance of it. Maybe they have a plan to release some things and then after 6 months release more things. Do like a quarterly or biannually kind of release of content. But my opinion is, if you're going to give this abundant crafting system and this intricate kind of economy that's based around the nodes that you're in, you have to complement that with an environment of content that draws off of that. The housing system isn't bad. You make furniture, stuff like that, you put it in your house, that's great. Gear you make, you use, but if people aren't doing content and they're not playing, then they're not going to use your gear, they're not going to buy it, they're not going to sell it. I don't know. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to bring up that we got this thing. I wanted to give you some of my ideas on things that could potentially cause them to push it back. And let's be honest, there were quite a few bugs. It was a very, very good beta, but there were quite a few bugs in this beta, and if they are going to push it back, less than a month isn't that bad. 28 days is not a bad amount of time for some of the bugs that they wanted to push back. And I also kind of want to touch on the idea that at this moment, it might be a good idea to push it back with all the stuff going on with other companies. Might be a good idea to give themselves a little bit more breathing room to kind of let the market kind of settle down. Ashes of Creation just had, and I think it's still going on, their first alpha. There is a lot of things in the works and in the tunnel, so maybe a little bit more time might not be a bad thing. But at the same time, a little bit more time might be what puts the nail in the coffin. I think they need to be really, really careful with how they manage this extension if they do it. They need to find a way to present this in a manner that's going to make people feel like they're not getting screwed over. Because right now, there's a lot of people that are getting disheartened in the gaming community. So we'll see. Like I said, I'll post a copy of this email so that you guys can check it out. Thanks for listening. My name's Felstrix. I'll see you guys out there.